It's Thursday, December 8th. This is a end of the day SPY report, and on the daily chart, you can see we had a 2 up day that wasn't very big. It was above the midpoint of the prior day. We stayed above the pre-market lows. But all the follow through we got was up into this gap that I kind of pointed out ahead of time. Here was the high the low of this bar and the high of this bar kind of forms a fair value gap in here. And I discussed how if we do head up, maybe we're just filling this in because it's an inside bar. So there's no real target up here other than whatever you see on the charts. And in this case, because we didn't really rally that much, it kind of leads me to believe we still want to come down and test these lows here that I've been talking about at the yellow line in the bigger picture, because the weekly chart is still down. We had a little attempt up today, but so far with one more day to go in the week, unless we really reverse this strong tomorrow, this is going to end up kind of a red week, which should expect some follow through lower into next week. And maybe tomorrow we'll get a big red bar, and if we do tomorrow, then definitely kind of anticipate more follow through into next week. And the monthly chart obviously is still red until we get above this line up here. It's a purple line up here on the daily chart that we've been talking about ever since the first of the month. We've been heading down. This is just a little bit of a pause, and so now we kind of see if we can get a 2 down day developing here. And again, on terms of the inside bar, it's very that's an actionable signal where you get kind of the 2 down, 1, a failed up 2, and then a 2 down. That would be a good bar to kind of then a 2 down bar would then kind of work to the bottom of this range and then kind of go to our targets down here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But in terms of today's trading, I was biased to the upside a little bit given that opening price action I discussed in the pre-market video. First bar did try to sell off, but it never really took out, never moved below the pre-market lows, and then you had a very strong bar to the upside here on bar number 2, and that to me kind of set the tone. I was prepared to really see some upside action today, and then wanted to see how we'd end up relative to, are we going to just take out this gap in here, or are we going to maybe have a stronger green bar? As it turns out, we just made a 1 push up, kind of pulled back to the halfway point of that bar, tried it again, didn't go anywhere. We just kind of went sideways the whole day. So the first move of the day was here. There were a couple of good stocks to trade to the long side after seeing that, which I'll show you in a second. But in terms of the market itself, if you really spread it out, and this is what I did, I kind of was pointing out, you can see this is the inefficient pricing in here. When price just really slashes through an area, that's kind of an area, a lot of times it's a gap on the chart, and a lot of times it fills in the inefficient pricing before continuing the trend back down. So it looks like at the moment, after this big move down, this is just kind of a rising wedge back to the upside that at some point might want to turn down. That's kind of what I'm anticipating. But as always, we'll watch the pre-market range tomorrow, opening price action, and see where price leads us. But in terms of today, the big stock on the upside was NVIDIA. That was one I traded. Once I saw that, when I saw the market really turning up, this stock had a lot of continuity, the upside, and targets the upside. And you can see buying the stock here at the blue line, able to take very quick profits, in the first 4 or 5 bars, and then after pausing, we went up all day long. So, even though the market itself didn't really follow through as a SPY, it kind of stayed strong all day, especially for the stocks that had targets above and opened up strong. So anyway, in terms of the market itself, like I said, I don't see this as a very strong day. It sets up an actionable signal to the downside if it forms tomorrow, and we can still head up as well. So if we do, then it shows that we're not going to we're going to do more than just fill in this gap and maybe head up higher. But given this price action, given the rising wedge look on the 15-minute chart, I'm kind of, even if we head up a little bit, even in close here on Friday, I'm kind of expecting a rollover to the downside unless we get a really strong bar to the upside here on the daily chart. And like I said, at this point with a 2 down week, I have to really see the weekly chart begin to turn up, and that's only going to start to possibly happen next week.